What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, in my videos, I say what I feel. I base it on a lot of things that I observe. I pay attention to the sport, look at trends. I go to credible sources. I watch interviews, etc., etc., etc. And I realize that everything I say, it might not be favorable. Some people have their own personal opinions, and that's fair. And that's the nature of the beast. But I gotta be honest, and that's what I've been to you guys so far on my boxing channel. I give you my honest take. I don't really have a filter. I don't hold back. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is what it is. I call a spade a spade. And I want to briefly read a quote from Eminem, rapper Eminem, and he said, "I say what I want to say and do what I want to do. There's no in between. People will either love you for it or hate you for it." And I like this quote a lot. And I just got to be honest in this particular video, and that's regarding Pacquiao. So, Manny Pacquiao, great fighter. Is he the greatest? In my opinion, no, he's not the greatest. He's done a lot of good things for the sport. He definitely brought excitement and exciting fights to the sport. I've never discredited him or taken him that away from him. But when it comes to actual boxing ability, ring smarts, and the style that's going to have longevity in the sport, I don't think he has that. I think he's an athletic fighter, very athletic, and as soon as some of those gifts started to slow down, you started to see a more vulnerable Pacquiao. Or when you put him in against Timothy Bradley, someone who's much more of a thinker, um, you start to see a sloppier Pacquiao. So even if you thought Pacquiao beat Bradley, I'm okay with that. That's fine because that fight was closer than people thought. But I think I would have gave Pacquiao the edge in that fight because he had more damaging and he was active. But in no stretch, no means did he look good? Did he look like he looked against Josh Clottey or Cotto or Margarito? Hell no. Bradley caused him to miss, made him look bad. But anyway, the purpose of this video and this whole preamble is because Brandon Rios, Pacquiao, they're fighting in November in Macau. It's going to be a big event, I think. Just having a fight of this magnitude in like a new venue, a new location that they're doing at the Venetian in Macau, China. China has a huge population, so I think this will be big for boxing. I think we'll start to see. We've already been seeing a lot of fights take place overseas, outside of the U.S. Gennady Golovkin fought Ishida. Monte Carlo. Zhao Shiming had a fight in China. I mean, we're seeing a lot of different venues taking place aside from just like UK boxing. I'm talking about they're going to places like Monaco or Monte Carlo, different places like that. So that's always a good shows that boxing still has a pulse. But with this video, I just find it interesting that I read an article and Pacquiao versus Rios, they've requested USADA drug testing, so the random blood and urine test. Michael Kuntz is an advisor of Pacquiao, and he says, basically, we requested this testing protocol. Yes, I can confirm we requested the USADA testing. We've never had anything to hide, nor do we have anything to hide now. And this I don't know. If this is not hypocrisy, I don't know what it is. The fight that everybody wanted to see back in the day was Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao. People call Floyd Mayweather chicken, say he ducked Pacquiao. That's fine, whatever. But the initial, and everything was a snowball effect after this, but the initial roadblock, take it back to the origin, the very root cause, the initial origin of any disruption between this fight, the very first tension was over drug testing. Now, if people change their demands after, or they weren't cool 50-50 or 40 mil, I don't care. I'm not even here to ignore that. But I'm talking about the root cause, the very first the very first ripple in the pond, if you will, was because of drug testing. Yet, a lot of people call Mayweather a chicken and say he ducked the fight or whatever the situation is. But why is USADA drug testing now all of a sudden imperative to the Pacquiao camp? I don't understand it. Now, we missed out on a monumental fight between Floyd Mayweather when it made sense in Pacquiao. And that would have done box office, blockbuster numbers. We all know that. Everybody wanted to see it at the time. Now it doesn't make as much sense. Some people still want to see it. But I just find it real hypocritical that all of a sudden Pacquiao hasn't enlisted USADA at all. And when they were talking about the Mayweather fight, they were saying Floyd Mayweather doesn't make the rules. Like, go back to the old interviews. They were saying Mayweather doesn't make the rules. We follow what the boxing commission dictates, and USADA, or this Olympic style drug testing, is not part of it. It's not part of the clause. So why should we be subjected to rules mandated by Mayweather? That's what Team Pacquiao or Bob Arum, all of them, that's what they were saying. Now all of a sudden Pacquiao gets knocked out, and it's now they're doing exactly what Mayweather did, which caused people to say he was a chicken or the fight not to be made initially. So I don't deal with hypocrisy. I'll call it out on all levels, and that's really what it is. So first of all, when Mayweather said I want Olympic style drug testing in 2008, 2009, whenever it was, you guys said he doesn't make the rules and we're not going to follow his body of rules. Now all of a sudden you're fighting Rios on a big stage in Macau, China, after a devastating KO loss at the hands of Marquez, another fighter who works with the same strength and conditioning coach, Angel Mimo Heredia, who now works with Brandon Rios. Now all of a sudden it's the end of the world. You need USADA drug testing. Like, why couldn't you have USADA drug testing and comply with that demand before? And I've said this time and time again. Mayweather doesn't make the rules. I understand that. But usually fighters that fight Mayweather, it is the biggest payday of their life. No doubt a Pacquiao-Mayweather fight would have probably been the biggest payday for both of the fighters at the time, in the heyday when it was to happen, 2008, 2009, or whenever it was. So that would have been a huge payday. It would have been huge for the sport of boxing. Fans would have tuned in for that. It would have been great. So why is there so much hesitation? If you're clean and you've always been clean, like Kant is saying, then why wouldn't you just comply with that? Even though, like I said, Mayweather doesn't make the rules, but you notice every single opponent since then has had no problem complying with the rules. Or, excuse me, not with the rules, but with the demand, the Mayweather demand of the Olympic style drug testing. Victor Ortiz, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, Robert the Ghost Guerrero. No one had a problem with it. So what makes Pacquiao holier than thou? He's afraid of needles, but he has tattoos? Come on, man. So that whole story doesn't add up. And it's funny that all of a sudden now you want Brandon Rios, because he's working with the same strength and conditioning coach that helped Marquez in his preparation and his training, and Marquez obviously knocked you out. Now all of a sudden this is the protocol and you want to go above and beyond and do this testing. It doesn't make sense. Other fighters, Nonito Donaire, he does 24/7 testing. Props to him. We definitely need a clean sport. I just find it mighty, mighty ironic that all of a sudden Team Pacquiao, out of all camps, has the audacity to try to enact this type of testing now, when they've never been on the forefront of this testing. They've never been demanding this testing. They've seen Marquez in the training camp for the Pacquiao 4, and they're like, okay, he has a newfound muscular shape. His physique looks different. He's 39. He's never been this swole and buff looking, and that raised suspicion. So it's just, like I said, it's just very ironic, like how history repeats itself and how the tides change. So that's all I got to say. I can't confirm or deny that Pacquiao was on something, but it looks mighty suspicious, especially when, like Scarface says, all I have is my balls and my word. So if you're not a man of your word, then it's kind of hard to respect that about you. So if just a few years ago you were saying this person is a fighter just like me, he doesn't make the rules, I'm not doing Olympic style drug testing, and nothing really has changed other than the fact that you got knocked out, and now all of a sudden you're the same one who's demanding or requesting the drug testing. I don't see how that change has come about other than you getting knocked out. And Brandon Rios works with the same strength and conditioning coach that train the person that knocked you out. What's the difference? So I really think the Mayweather fight could have happened. Like I said, it doesn't make as much sense now, but again, it's mighty funny that now Team Pacquiao is the one who's requesting this training. So I don't know. The stranger things have happened in boxing, but I think Brandon Rios is clean. He never really struck me as somebody who has to cheat. He seems like just a naturally big guy. But like I said, stranger things have happened. We'll see if both fighters, because I hope Brandon Rios, I understand this is his first pay-per-view, but I hope he's not the only one taking the test, because the article doesn't say anything about Pacquiao is submitting to the test. So I understand it's his first pay-per-view and he wants to basically meet the demands of Pacquiao, but it should be an even playing field across the board. So if Rios has to take the test, then Pacquiao should have to take the test. And see, this is another thing I read. When Pacquiao was going to fight Marquez in the fourth fight, and they seen how he was looking in training camp and how he looked, he appeared buffer. I heard that they were questioning if he was on something, and Freddie Roach had made some comments, but they didn't want to take the drug test or the Olympic style drug test, but they wanted Marquez to do it. So he was like, "Fuck that! I'm not going to do it if you're not doing it." So, like I said, we do need a clean sport, and I just want to even across the board. If Rios has to take it, then Pacquiao should definitely have to take the test as well. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think of this subject. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.